Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Lydia Udijochi. We're glad to have you join us. You can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the extension of the validity of old 200 naira notes by 60 days. The president made the disclosure on Thursday while addressing Nigerians in a nationwide broadcast on the recent implementation of the redesigned Naira policy, which has led to the scarcity of the notes.
During the extended phase of the deadline for currency swap, I listened to invaluable pieces of advice from well-meaning citizens and institutions across the nation. I similarly consulted widely with representatives of the state governors as well as the Council of State. Above all, as an administration that respects the rule of law, I have also noted that the subject matter is before the courts of our land and some pronouncements have been made. To further ease the supply pressures, particularly to our citizens, I have given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknotes be released back into circulation and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10th, 2023 to April 10th, 2023, when the old 200 naira note ceases to be legal tender.
Meanwhile, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has formally reacted to the presidential broadcast on the currency swap policy, assuring Nigerians adequate steps have already been taken towards making the old 200 naira and all new banknotes more available and accessible to those in need across the country. Mr. Emefiele stated this while speaking to our State House correspondent, Adamu Sambo, on the new directives issued by President Buhari to the Apex Bank.
The President has given his directives. I have met with about 15 banks this morning, later, and we've given them directives about how they should make all the old 200 naira notes available, effective today. And I can assure Nigerians that this will help to reduce the pains. We meet with the bankers at least once daily to get feedback and the rest of them. And I think the President has sealed the whole of the issues this morning in his broadcast. And I think I can only just appeal to Nigerians, let's allow this policy to work. This policy is one policy that goes to solve the problem of reducing corruption and illicit financial flows. This policy goes to resolve some of the problems in the economy. This policy also goes to reducing the level of insecurity in the country. So these three issues, which are the tripod of this administration's policy, are all embedded in this policy. We should just allow it to work. We keep saying this. There are some temporary pains, but I can assure Nigerians that the long-run benefit to Nigeria is overwhelming, and we should just give it a chance to work.
In the same vein, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has urged Nigerians to be patient and calm as the federal government works out enduring solution to the scarcity caused by the redesigned Naira policy. In a message, Tinubu sympathized with Nigerians over the financial inconveniences the cash swap has caused, saying the phase will soon be a thing of the past, particularly with the Supreme Court having intervened in the matter. Deliberate policies that will have direct bearing on women and girls is the way to go in addressing the number of out-of-school children, as well as lifting women out of poverty in Nigeria. This is a recent step taken by the federal government as it launches high-level advisory council at the State House. Momsodemi Ndati reports.
The State House banquet hall is agog with members of the National Executive Council, governors, members of the diplomatic corps, traditional rulers, and other dignitaries. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs is launching 4 mega projects: a high-level advisory council on Nigeria's support to women and girls, national We policy dialogue, adolescent girls initiatives for learning and empowerment, Agile, as well as the Nigerian for Women Scale-Up. The arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari sets the ball rolling.
The well-being of women and girls remain a pivotal indicator of how well any nation is doing in driving her developmental plans. I'm proud of the tremendous progress that has been made to emphasize the needs of Nigerian women and girls into national economic planning policy.
To raise national consciousness of the urgent need to address gender-based violence, its root causes, and other inequalities. And in this regard, we have also witnessed broad roll out of policy and programmatic interventions.
With this development, millions of beneficiaries will be reached through a multi-sectoral approach comprising public and private sectors. In Abuja, Momso Damien Lati, NTA News.
The disability community in Nigeria is set to have full inclusion in all sectors with workable blueprints designed by the All Progressives Congress to foster inclusivity. Wife of the APC presidential candidate, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, gave the assurance at a town hall meeting with the disability community. Elizabeth Omori reports.
APC! That's the song as the warm-up for the 2023 general elections under the Tinubu Shetima ticket. Drawn from all the clusters of disability, they engaged the wife of the presidential candidate and the wife of the vice presidential candidate on issues of reproductive health, education, entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, and equity.
Won't even come again to carry women along, especially people. Only for leg and leg, now we get disability, but brain, we can do something.
All that we need is the opportunity to be able to be given to the disability community to participate properly in everything that concerns us.
Questions from members of the disability community, critical actors of the party promised to leverage on the Disability Act to further address their plight.
We are laboring right now to birth a Nigeria that is going to be great. Because this is the government that Tinubu Shetima is going to build upon.
And we should not lose hope. No matter the challenge or no matter the situation that we are all in, let's all keep our hope alive.
We are going to consolidate on all that has been done to you.
They assured more friendly disability policies, if victorious, at the polls. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, ahead of the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union. The president was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, Director General, Department of State Services Yusuf Magaji Bichi, and other senior government officials. While in Ethiopia, the president will participate in 3 high-level meetings on peace and security, climate change, and the political situation in some West African countries. The Nigerian leader will deliver remarks at these events as well as present his national statement at the opening session of the summit, which brings together leaders from the AU member countries as well as a number of non-AU countries and international institutions accredited to the AU in Addis Ababa. The theme of the AU summit is Acceleration of the African Continental Free Trade Area Implementation. We now join Hingino in Lagos for more stories from our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Lydia. Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Tribunal sitting in Lagos has commenced trial of 10 cases of various professional misconducts brought by its investigative panel as part of efforts to rid the profession of unethical practice. Joel Pupola reports that one pharmacist was reprimanded for breach of trust, while hearing on other cases have been adjourned till March 2023.
The PCN Establishment Act 2022 empowers the investigation panel and tribunal presided by the chairman of the council with power to sanction erring pharmacists who act in defiance of the ethics of the profession. The 10 cases slated for hearing covered infractions such as breach of trust, manufacturing of unwholesome drugs, misappropriation of funds, and other ethical misconducts. Counsel to one of the plaintiffs, Mr. Bright Ogbonna, appealed to the tribunal for adjournment to allow his client more time to assess relevant documents for her defense. One of the pharmacists who appeared before the tribunal described the process as fair.
The charge here is bordering on, when companies give you products and you go about selling them, and in the course of, making the accounts, there are some discrepancies, or when the reconciliation is not balanced.
The chairman of the PCN, Professor Ahmed Tijani Mora, and members of the tribunal warned pharmacists that it will no longer be business as usual.
We've done a lot over the years in trying to sanitize the profession, as it were. Any pharmacist who has been registered and licensed by the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria is subject to be corrected, if I may put it that way, through the instrumentality of the disciplinary tribunal.
One pharmacist was reprimanded at the end of the day. The remaining cases were adjourned for definite trial.
More punitive measures and reforms will be carried out to repose public trust in pharmacists. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Now to political matters. Ahead of the February 25 presidential election, persons with disability are asking the Independent National Electoral Commission to shed more light on its inclusive plan at ensuring persons with disability exercise their franchise during the polls. This was at a one-day public presentation by Center for Citizens with Disability on pre-assessment survey report on INEC's preparedness and provisions for persons with disability in Lagos. Musa Toliat has details.
Able people don't need to go and lie with able people. It brings frustration.
For these persons with disability, there is still a lot to be worried about as Nigerians count days to the general elections.
The ad hoc staff don't really know how to handle PWDs.
We have always said it, that you cannot do something for us without us being part of the processes.
This gathering is therefore aimed at presenting the findings of Center for Citizens with Disability on the provisions made by the Independent National Electoral Commission to accommodate persons with disability during the polls.
Some of the recommendations also point to issues about challenges in voting, accessibility of the polling units, and I think it's important for INEC to work in this regards.
Organizers of the event say a good number of PWDs face series of challenges and their level of awareness on INEC's provisions for them is at the lowest ebb.
INEC preparation for people with disabilities remain weak, as many persons with disabilities do not know INEC provisions for them. If they plan to train their ad hoc staff on what to do about people with disabilities, because the training of the ad hoc staff have not taken place.
Consensus at the public presentation on election preparedness is that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, should carry out proper research and scale up a special arrangements for participation of people with disabilities in Lagos. Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time now for a break nationwide. We'll be back with Amina in Kaduna.
Center. The International Federation of Women Lawyers Kaduna State Chapter is seeking collaboration with security agencies and relevant stakeholders to ensure credible and peaceful elections, as well as active participation of women. This is coming as the association presented its findings to some security agencies for necessary action. Bilkisu Nuhu reports.
A survey conducted by the International Federation of Women Lawyers in 18 out of the 23 local government areas in Kaduna State indicates that women and the vulnerable may likely face intimidation during the forthcoming elections. To address these and other problems that may arise during elections, FIDA has presented its findings to the police, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and Kaduna State Peace Commission to do the needful.
All these visits is aimed at improving the participation of women in the 2023 elections by ensuring that issues related to violence against women are well sensitized and are well disseminated.
Some security agencies and Kaduna State Peace Commission promised to examine the documents and work accordingly for peaceful elections.
All hands are already on deck. Men were ready to actually monitor, protect lives and properties of Nigerians.
FIDA is among the accredited independent observers to monitor the conduct of the 2023 general elections. In Kaduna, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
The federal government has widened its scope of debt recovery at all public and private sectors in the country. Yohannes Hassan Baro reports that Project Lighthouse is among the recently instigated programs initiated by the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The report.
Revenue generation is the major source of income in Nigeria, with an estimated increment from 1,052 billion naira to 1,227 billion naira in the year 2022, as estimated by the Central Bank of Nigeria. This is, however, threatened by debt from operators in the country. Micah Sodengi is here for the zonal sensitization workshop on federal government debt recovery drive through Project Lighthouse, a program initiated to block revenue leakages.
Like contractors, you discover they'll get the contract, but they will not do it the way it's supposed, and they'll pay them off. You see, government now is at loss.
The federal government also used the Lighthouse as a glare to solve perennial problems using big data analytic and machine learning technology for easy collection, integration, and analysis of data from revenue generating agencies.
Acting dark areas where government is being owed. Government want to find out and to recover those money to improve revenue.
In addition, companies check their debts to avoid penalties and sanctions that might be imposed by the federal government through the program. In Kano, Yohannes Hassan Baro, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Amina. The management of the National Assembly says the parliament is not under any threat or siege by security operatives has been erroneously portrayed by agents of fake news. This was in reaction to clips being circulated on the social media. We will bring you details of that subsequently. Moving on, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has assured the ruling All Progressives Congress that Yobe State will be counted among states in the country with the highest number of votes cast for the party in the upcoming general elections. Yunusa Suleiman reports that this commitment came at a fundraising ceremony to mobilize resources for the smooth conduct of the party's campaign activities.
The sons and daughters of Yobe State and their associates coming together to mobilize the resources needed for the smooth operation of the APC campaign machinery to ensure victory of the party in the state. Organized under the guidelines of the 2022 Electoral Act, stakeholders including the President of the Senate say time has come for the state to show the strength of its population by giving the ruling party at least 1.2 million votes in all elections for continuity and consolidation of gains recorded by the party in the state and the country in general.
Yobe is known
to be a guaranteed vote basket for the APC. We can only do better. We want to compete with every state in this country as far as votes for APC is concerned. The present government of the APC, led by Honorable Mai Malabuni, has made tremendous and important contributions to the development of the state. It is therefore evident that every single kobo donated to the re-election of this government will be a donation made for the growth of Yobe State.
The Director General Yobe State APC Campaign Council, Senator Mohammed Hassan, announced that 2,200,000,000 naira was so far realized, with the chip launcher Muhammad Awal Lawan, Aliko Dangote, Dahiru Mangal and Abdul Samad Rabiu, among other friends of the state, topping the list of donors. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has described as unhealthy the negligence of Supreme Court judgment on the new Naira note policy. He made his reservations known when he received the APC presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogedi Nyekwere has details.
Governor Nyesom Wike received the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Government House, Port Harcourt, where he appreciated him for his support to Rivers State during the last flood crisis, which affected several states in the country. He says he admires his consistency and quality of character, which is presently required to move the country forward. The governor also used the occasion to express his reservations over the non-adherence to the Supreme Court ruling over the new Naira redesign policy. He says such disregard to court ruling could cause anarchy and urges the APC presidential candidate and the party national chairman to take steps that could help ease the sufferings of the people.
How can you people be in government at this time? Governor of the Central Bank disrespecting the Supreme Court. Where has it happened in any democracy? Governor of a central bank thinking of whether to obey Supreme Court order. Where has it happened?
The APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu says his visit to Government House emanates from the respect he has for the office of the Rivers State Governor. He knows that Governor Wike has exhibited his background as a lawyer by following constitutional means and expressing his reservations over the new Naira policy, stressing that all his advocacies have been based on fairness, equity, and justice.
You work hard and you voice loudly your commitment to unity and the critical path to that unity in Nigeria. You never advocated a division or breakup of our country.
The national chairman, APC, Adamu Abdullahi, also praised the courage and sincerity of the Rivers State Governor. He says Governor Wike has kept the spirit alive and has stood by his conscience. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
The new Nigeria People's Party presidential candidate, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has assured the people of Northeast and Nigeria that if elected, he will tackle the security challenges confronting the area and the country at large. Kwankwaso was speaking when he paid homage to the royal fathers of Borno, Yobe and Gombe. Mohammed Ali reports.
New Nigeria People's Party's presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso arrived in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, received by supporters and party loyalists. Kwankwaso then proceeded to Shehu Borno's palace, where he briefed the royal father on the plans he has for the country.
Our government, if elected, will enhance the security architecture and improve their welfare so as to adequately protect the integrity of this country.
If you have been given the mandate, we need roads infrastructure in Maiduguri.
In Damaturu, Yobe State, the presidential candidate intimated the Emir Alhaji Hashimi II, Ibn Umar Al-Amin El-Kanemi, on his plans to turn around the education system for better, as he did in Kano State, where every child is given equal opportunity. The Emirs of Fika and Potiskum also received the presidential candidate in their palaces, where he assured the royal fathers of unbiased government if elected. While in Gombe, the presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was at the palace of Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, the Emir of Gombe, promising to revitalize the economic fortunes of the state and address unemployment among youth. Kwankwaso then presented his blueprint to the Emir. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
Still on the elections, with the Nigerian police force deploying more than 300,000 personnel to cover the general elections, Nigerians are being assured of adequate protection before, during and after the conduct of the 2023 general elections. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, who said this at the State House executive briefing of the press, explained that the police are not unaware of the challenges threatening the hitch-free conduct of the coming elections. The police and other security agencies, he says, are strategizing to counter the threats for a smooth conduct of all elections in the country. Identified possible challenges include the continuous and targeted attacks on INEC facilities, activities of terrorists, bandits and secessionists, those attempting to advance political interests through violation of the Electoral Act, hate speech and many other violations.
We would intend to sustain the current relatively stable internal security order, particularly in troubled areas in the northeast, southeast, etc. 2, deepen intelligence activities to proactively respond to threats wherever it may occur. 3, continue to synergize with the military, the intelligence community, and all other security agencies towards presenting a common front in the election security governance plan. It is my belief and conviction that the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, and all other security agencies will collectively collaborate, synergize, and cooperate in policing the 2023 general election in order to ensure that a free, fair, and credible election takes place in Nigeria.
State House correspondent Jido Nifade reports that the Inspector General of Police was guest at the 66th edition of the weekly press briefing organized by the Presidential Communication Team. A non-governmental organization, the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, has unveiled an Electoral Act web and mobile app ahead of the 2023 general elections. Timothy Yusuf will tell us all about it.
The Policy and Legal Advocacy Center's Electoral Act app contains the complete text of the Nigerian Electoral Act passed in 2022. It comes in a web version as well as Android and iOS mobile versions and simplified explanations for every section of the law, relevant court decisions that interpret the provisions and demonstrate its practical application.
The Electoral Act is important for all of us, and we know that this is a milestone election. 2015 was a milestone election for us in this country, and we saw the first transition of power from an incumbent to an opposition leader, and the whole country rose very proudly to say, yes, we did have a great election in 2015, and we are going to be having a milestone election in 2023 as well, because you quite frankly can see that it's going to be a well-contested election. And the hope we all have is that that contest will reflect in an outcome that we can all proudly say, yes, we contributed to it.
The Electoral Act app is reference to additional reading materials for researchers with an overall objective to disseminate the provisions of the law to the public and ensure citizens have it in a readily accessible format. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide. Larry will also bring us more stories from Ibadan. Hello, Larry, and good to see you.
See you, Lydia, and welcome to Ibadan. Teaching of history in schools have been identified as one of the safest ways of sustaining the rich cultural heritage of Africa. This formed part of discussions at the Professor Bolanle Awe at 90 conference with a focus on oral traditions and written histories held at Treasured Hall, University of Ibadan. Lukman Hassan has more.
Speakers at the Professor Bolanle Awe at 90 conference agreed that historians have contributed immensely in promoting the African culture.
A society that is not aware of its history has no destination. If you don't know your past, how can you understand your present and how can you navigate the future? And that is why it's important to celebrate people like Professor Bolanle Awe.
A tribe will continue to expand in the land. She's a treasure, she's a matriarch, she's a mentor with a lot of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and that is what life is all about.
The celebrant, Professor Bolanle Awe, while thanking God for sparing her life to witness 90 years on earth, also thanked the academia for putting up a program of such magnitude to celebrate her. Professor Awe maintained that she will continue to write and speak on the importance of history and gender equality.
That has been the way in which we have been able to preserve our history. So oral tradition has become a very important factor in the preservation of our history.
Courtesy the University of Texas, University of Lagos, and University of Ibadan, the conference was an avenue to showcase the oral tradition of Africa. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
About 120 youths in Oyo State have benefited from the federal government's training in vocational skills for self-reliance. Wasi Rahul reports that the successful participants were given startup working tools during the graduation ceremony organized by Industrial Training Fund in Ibadan.
One of the core mandates of Industrial Training Fund, the ITF, which has been in existence for decades, is empowerment and training of youths to be self-independent. This set of youths from Oyo State are the latest beneficiaries of this mandate, having been sponsored by ITF on a 3-month training in different aspects of vocational skill programs.
Somebody who is not doing anything and you empower that person and the person is able to use it and he also empowers another person.
After 6 months, we'll go around again and see what they are really doing with the training and the startup packs that we have given them.
But this program has given me a wider scale opportunity and to also acquire equipment that can help me start up instead of making me go to look for loans.
Some of us doesn't even have the guide, but with this now, I think Sky is our starting point.
The training, which was categorized under National Industrial Skill Development Program, kicked off in the last quarter of 2022, trained several Nigerian youths nationwide. In Ibadan, Siro, NTA News.
Those are the latest updates from Ibadan. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lydia after this break. Please stay tuned.
Thank you for staying with us. Following the disbandment of Ebubago Security Network in Ebonyi State by Justice F.O. Rima of the Federal High Court, Abakaliki, the state government has described the judgment as a miscarriage of justice, which it intends to appeal. Caleb Ogbonna reports.
Of Ebubago Security Outfit followed a suit filed by a former Commissioner for Information, Abia Onyike, for alleged adoption and torture by members of the security outfit in the state. Consequently, the court declared that the establishment of Ebubago Security Outfit was unconstitutional, null and void. It also averred that the Ebubago Security Network has no powers to mount roadblocks in federal highways and major roads in Ebonyi State. This judgment, according to some principal officers in the state, was a miscarriage of justice, as the outfit works within the ambits of the law.
Our own Ebubago, I do not know of other states, is duly a lawful organization, captured under Ebonyi State House of Assembly Law 005 of 2021. We are all beneficiaries of this Ebubago services, and we should all jointly protect it.
Ebubago will continue to do their legitimate work because it was very properly constituted. This is a miscarriage of justice, effect dead on arrival. We will ventilate our right up to the point of the Supreme Court.
They decried the gruesome murder of over 20 personnel of a Bubagu security network by non-government and prayed for its reversal. Meanwhile, some members of the outfit took to the streets to protest the judgment, stressing that they have complemented efforts of the conventional security agencies in the state in maintaining peace. In Abakaliki, Caleb Obonna, NTA News.
In Abuja, efforts to check activities of robbers and hoodlums around the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Way and other dark spots around Area 11 Abuja has yielded results with the arrest of 2 criminals. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
The incident occurred when a robber armed with a dagger attacked one Miss Victoria Ono along the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Way, dispossessing her of her handbag containing valuables. According to eyewitnesses, the robbery was carried out at about 8:30 in the morning. The robber snatched the bag and tried to make a quick getaway, but was pursued by a security officer within the vicinity and caught while trying to escape through a tunnel.
He was robbed by some guys who used to stay over here. And over time, I've noticed their presence, and to some time, I even reported some policemen.
The victim revealed that the bag contained valuable items.
Like, it's a park where I used to put everything, so I just placed it because of the ATM card I picked from home this morning. That was why that pack just followed me. So that was what was inside with my pen, then my ID card. I can't even go to work because without the ID card, I can't even walk or anything.
Security officers stationed at the Ministry of Women Affairs immediately followed up by combing the area, leading to the arrest of 3 more hoodlums. They have since been taken into custody for further interrogation. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
Officials of the National Information Technology and Development Agency, NITDA, are being equipped with digital and managerial skills for growth and resilience in present-day age of emerging technologies. Chimdema Ndebuisi reports that the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, is a chief trainer in the exercise meant to sustain the heights attained in the digital economy. Chimdema reports.
In this 4th industrial revolution, ICT rules. Every sector realigning its operations with the latest trends in ICT, which presents greater opportunities to boost socio-economic growth. As the IT regulator, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, believes it should be ahead in the game.
We need to fully equip ourselves with relevant knowledge, skills, expertise, and tools to position Nigeria to create and capture value from the 4th industrial revolution.
The Communications and Digital Economy boss told them that learning new digital and managerial skills is key to transforming Nigeria's digital economy.
Today, management is evolving significantly. If you look at the qualities that are required for you to be successful from 2015, and those in 2020, you will discover that they are not the same. However, many of them remain the same, like critical thinking, complex problem solving, and others.
After all, the futurologist once said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Improving the quality of education in the face of daunting socioeconomic challenges remain the focus of key players in the educational sector as they converge on KEFI, Nasarawa State, for a 4-day national conference at the Faculty of Education, Nasarawa State University, KEFI. Christy Ayagwa reports.
The spate of insecurity, snail pace of post-COVID-19 recovery plans, as well as the CBN's cashless policy and its consequences on the educational sector, scholars are bringing their wealth of experiences to bear in finding solutions to these challenges.
We therefore invite you to this national conference, which promises to be highly educative, insightful, thought-provoking, and issues based on current realities in education.
Conversations around other critical issues underscored the roadmap developments of state governments in education.
Security is paramount, is important. Even education cannot move to the next level. So we are going to instantly look at the solution to the security.
If education is on the rise, that means the achievement of education, every other thing will follow.
So we are going to look at comprehensively the system of education we are running, if there are things to be removed or added to it.
Academics and scholars in attendance from tertiary institutions across the country leverage on the theme, Education, Security and Post-COVID Sustainable Development in Nigeria. Christy Ayagwa, NTA News.
Oloibiri, as a land abandoned 66 years after oil was first discovered and exploited, has had her hope renewed following federal government's approval of 117 billion naira oil and gas museum and research facility in the district. Timini Preohea, who visited the proposed site for the multi-billion naira project, reports. We apologize for the lack of audio on that film report. Let's move ahead. Be good ambassadors of Nigeria and have faith that Nigeria will be great again. End of quote. These were the words of the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, during the airlift of the 7th batch of Christian pilgrims to Israel and the Kingdom of Jordan. Omenka Marachuku reports that the over 300 intending pilgrims are drawn from Edo State, the FCT, and some self-sponsored individuals. While the spiritual exercise is scheduled to last for 9 days, the pilgrims are expected to visit holy sites in Israel and the Kingdom of Jordan, pray for peace and national coexistence of Nigerians.
We should all be praying for this country at this particular time. We believe in miracle. We believe that the general election will come and go, and God will provide leaders that will continue building the good work that is already on ground for uniting the country.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, is felicitating with the Kaduna State Governor, Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, on his 63rd birthday. Tinubu, in a statement by his media assistant, Abdulaziz, described El-Rufai as a committed and competent public servant who gives his all to any cause he believes in. Tinubu prayed for more wisdom and good health for the Kaduna governor to enable him offer more to the people of Kaduna State and Nigeria. Next is Sports Update.
The Nigerian Rugby Football Federation has commenced a 3-day Level 1 medical and anti-doping seminar for its medical workforce for an effective service delivery ahead of the kickoff of the Federation's 2023 sporting season.
So I'm going to make sure I get it down to him or her to make sure that he knows the importance of not taking these drugs.
44 participants from the 6 geopolitical zones and the FCT are taking part in the seminar holding at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Nigeria's senior national women's football team, the Super Falcons, Thursday lost 1-0 to hosts Mexico in the opening match of the 2023 Women's Revelations Cup, despite having clear opportunities to win the game. The 9-time African champions will face Colombia on Saturday before taking on Costa Rica 3 days later.
Can't separate the result from the coach, particularly when you consider a whole Super Falcon, a 9-time African champion, losing 6 matches consecutively. There is need for us to question the quality of the kind of coach.
It's a battle of two European football heavyweights as FC Barcelona hosts Manchester United at the Camp Nou in one of the Europa League round of 32 ties bid for Thursday. In other fixtures, Dutch giants Ajax face Union Berlin of Germany. FC Salzburg is up against AS Roma at home. Bayer Leverkusen is also at home against AS Monaco of France. Meanwhile, in the UEFA Champions League, Karim Adeyemi's 63rd minute solo strike handed Borussia Dortmund a 1-0 home victory over Chelsea in the first leg of their round of 16 encounter on Wednesday. Benfica of Portugal also recorded a 2-0 away win against Club Brugge of Belgium. With sports updates, I am Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. Thank you for being a part of it all. But before we go, let's remind you that you can always join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. Thank you for watching. I'm Lydia Ojijochi. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.